Great. What is it? Museum. Interesting. See, there's
That's what she said. Yeah.
Yes, this is one of the things that we wanted to use as our performance assessments, is for you to create a museum exhibit, and then to be able to use those museum exhibits as a model, for you to be able to use those museum exhibits as a model for having your students to do this. This is a fabulous, authentic learning piece. And it helps students to truly understand what we said as our central questions of B and C, and our understanding of B and C. And that is that how we know what happened in the past is based on the artifacts that we have left. And that also gets played into whose perspective is coming from. Okay? I thought the two speakers this morning, you really could see that very well. Two totally different situations, how they saw it. But did you see how that they kind of came to an understanding? The way things work. Okay? And we just kind of played through those roles until there were people that were brave enough to go out there and make a change, and make a decision, or push us into doing something different. Okay? And I think that was another thing. I may be speaking for Jim, but I think that's what he was trying to challenge you to remember, that when you go to teach this, that you have the opportunity to help students understand that they can make a difference, even in a little small way. But he's also putting some beware. Parents may be upset if you push your child to be out there like that. But anyway, okay, back to this, because I'm just so far. Okay. These are two ways of being able to look at creating a museum display. And in this, what you are doing is to having and choosing which sources, which pictures, which pieces, what things do you want to put together is going to kind of tell the story. Now, do you remember when you went to the African American, Smith Robinson Museum, or either when we went to the World War II Museum last year? You don't want to do the whole museum, just one little piece. Okay, one little piece, what would you put there? What are the things that are most important? And the exercise that you just did with those photographs, where you had to choose which themes were the most important, what was the theme going to be behind those? Why those pictures, and why are you throwing some of them away? Okay? That's the kind of thing that you would do here. You can create it using a timeline there. They pick the pieces that are going to go with that. Another piece that will make you another part of this assessment that's going to make you feel much more comfortable as a teacher is that you have them to write why they chose those pieces, why those were significant. If you don't add that to your part, you're probably going to feel like that you don't really know whether students learn very well. So the writing prompt of why this piece, why is this important, how does this fit into the context of what you're trying to do, that is what's going to make this more valuable for you, and you're going to feel much more comfortable as a teacher using that. Has anyone done this part before? Done using it?
I have a coworker that does it. Our second grade teacher does it every year.
And how does it work?
The kids really enjoy it. They like doing it. They have to. She assigns like either Asia, like she assigns a continent they've discussed already, and they have to pick something from what they talked about, and then make something for the museum
Okay.
to put in the museum per grade.
Okay, you told us that students enjoyed it, that means that they worked hard, they were engaged with it. Did they work individually? Okay, so they're individual, could it be done as a group?
No, it's at home, it's not done at school, it has, the parents have to help them with it, the parents have to sign a log that they've done.
Remember, you could do this the other way, especially for you that are in high school.
So, because we're all about parent involvement, so that's how she does parent involvement. She really likes it, like, she likes doing it. It takes about a 2-week time period for them to do it. It's almost like a science fair project, but at home with a history project.
Okay. Okay, now you told us several really good things. Tell us some of the disadvantages of doing that, the frustrations you have.
Some of the kids will do it the night before, and they bring in a haphazard mummy made out of marshmallows, which was one of my favorites 2 years ago.
No thinking involved,
No,
just get it done.
yeah, she and I got really tickled at that one. Or toilet paper, the toilet paper mummy. And then there's also just kids who will not do it because there's no parental help at home, and so you have to take those things into consideration. There's also the inaccuracies if they don't have the proper information and they're going into the information they need. So then she has to go back and give them, the correct,
Okay.
give them the things that they need to correct it while they're in class.
Okay.
So,
And one of the things, when you're looking at those frustrations, those may be reasons that you want part of this done in class with supervision, or that you have parts turned in at certain times so you can keep an idea of how much they're doing and how they're working through it. Okay? As you're thinking this through in your mind, what are you thinking? How do you think that you may do this? What are some things that you would, how you see this possibly working? You don't tell me yours, I'm not sure, I'm gonna tell you mine. Okay, mine is. One of the things that we had thought about doing this was the fact that we wanted you to create one as a model, so when you went back to school, you could say, this is the way it's supposed to be looking. So that when you went to the archives, you were mainly looking for things in either your county or your community. So what did you find there, okay? And that those pieces would be the things that you would put in your exhibit, okay? Now, if you had a document, you may have parts of that that you're going to have highlighted that you want them to read. Remember how they had to do those in the museums? Or that you have to go back now and find pictures of where those things were actually taking places. Or that you have actual pieces that they use. For example, if there was a protest and there was a sign and you could make a sign like it, or you have the actual sign that you saw in pictures, those pieces, and you put those together to where it tells a story. So as a viewer, just like when you went to the museum and I stand here and look at this, I'm going to learn something about Pike County, Marion County, Columbia, whatever, and how they played into the civil rights movement. And what Jim told us today gives you some other things, if you didn't already know those, to go back and say, okay, where were those people in my community? Or were there other people in some of these other communities that I need to include in my exhibit that are going to be important to this? So if you do your museum exhibit and you bring that to us on Tuesday, on the February the 8th, there's a prize. Can I do this? Yes, you can. If you're going to assign this for a project for your students, you really need to have a model of what you want it to be like for them to be able to look at it. Or you're going to take them to a whole lot of museums for them to be able to see that. Okay?
Internet.
Internet, good, but put it all together. And and remember, the point about doing it in an exhibit is who's telling the story, what perspective are they coming from, and what are the things that they feel like tell that story. The exercise you just did is a lot of that because you're making a lot of decisions about what do I want to tell about, and then what will tell that story the clearest.